demonstration of our project. We were doing the housing real estate market analysis for Arizona Realtor.com. So you execute this code by clicking this right here. It starts up a local server. Go into this, and you go into this Swagger API. And then this is the post method where you can enter user input. So it's already populated with Tempe, but we can change it to Mesa, and then we click execute. And then as soon as I click execute, it starts the spider. So the spider starts running right now. Since there's 28 pages or more, it takes a while to go through and get all the listings, but while it's running, I'm going to explain some of our code. So starting with the spider, so this is our main logic. We use Scrapy, of course. This is the class that's used to store all the fields that Scrapy gets. This is the spider itself. It's called listings, and it goes through ArizonaRealEstate.com. So our constructor, it accepts the area. If no area is passed, it defaults to Maricopa just cause. So it logs all of it. It also uses the starting URL and stuff. Then you have the parse method, which deals with parsing everything. We use XPath. It's a bit harder because this whole thing right here, it's pretty hard to figure it out. But once you figure it out, it's really easy to get it to work. So this is like some of the basic Python logic where we get the address and we strip all the spaces before it's stored in JSON. This is where we get the price, agency, the area we entered, the bedroom, the bathrooms, the square footage, and then once we get all that, we iterate through it, we clean the data, and then we get the item. We just yield it so that we don't want it to stop. We want it to keep going. So we just hold the item until it's entered into JSON. And this is the pagination. So basically this goes to the next page. It doesn't just stop at the first page, it goes to the next one. And it keeps going until it stops. So until there's no more pages. This is the main code that's executed when we run this. So the JSON file will be named whatever the area input you entered and .json. And it's the logging, and this is the crawler. So we have the delay, we have to obey, we have the agent, and then we have all this stuff that's extracted and it's feeded into the output file. And this is all just the logging information. This is the one that was printed out here. And then we have the other file. This is for analyzing the data that's output to the JSON file. So this is the JSON file name. This is the demo file name, just obviously changed. We convert the data to float, so this is just converting the prices in the bedrooms from string data to floating point data. Like for example, we're handling like $1 million, 4.55 to all these becomes a number. And we use a package called RE to get all the data in. This one's to analyze the real estate data, so this would probably be finding the most frequent agency, calculating averages, and reading the JSON file. This is the wrapper function. So we initialize everything for the list. We get the list count. We put everything in. So it's just basic Python logic. There's nothing surprising here. This is just like an error validation, just to see if there's no listings in the JSON file. This is what it's returned, and it stops everything. This is what do we get? We get the average price, average bed count, average bathroom, average square footage of the area. And this is the agencies. Whatever the agency name is, it shows how many times it appeared throughout the area. And then this is what we get as the final out. This is where we run the analysis. And then we have plot.py. This is where we have matplotlib, and then we have the pandas, and we have JSON, OS and sys and RE. So this is the JSON file is the input, and this is the output, which is a JPEG. We clean and convert the data here to make sure it's the right thing, to make sure everything works properly and it's outputted properly. Here's where we calculate the stats, the averages. So this is the bedroom, bathroom, square foot, and price, and then the average bedroom is rounded to an integer to just make sure it works correctly. We're also doing the most agency count. So if every agency appears only once, it just goes NA. But if it's more than once, and if it appears multiple times, then you put it into the return of this function. And then this is where we generate the plot using matplotlib. So it takes in the input. We generate a data frame, and then we apply the conversions here. We filter it so if there's no valid prices, we don't return anything, obviously. We sort it by price, so it goes from the lowest to the highest. And finally, this is the part of the code where we plot it. So it shows total listings, it shows what is being plotted, the average price. So this is the box that shows the average price for the area, the average bedroom, the number of listings, and the most amount of agencies that have the listings there. And this actually plots everything in. This is the title, labels, and all that. And this is the final part. This is the application itself. This is the FastAPI this is where we start up the server. We use Pydantics to store the string data. This is where we find define directory to store the files and stuff. This is the post request that we entered when we started it, and it shows all the areas. It shows what we entered, it converts it, and it executes the right files. And we keep it running. And there's one more. Not that one. This is the main framework. This is the pipeline, and this one's the one that runs the spider. And as you can see, this whole thing, we run the spider here. Then we also run analysis in the plot itself. So we're running the Python files, the different Python files we have. And this is the one where we run where we have the helper function that allows you to modify and run the plot through both these files using a dynamic file. Since we're using a dynamic JSON file, we have to make sure that it runs properly. Yeah, we do exception handling stuff. Yeah, it's just.
All right, so it's finished scraping. So now we will download the output graph, and we can take a look at it here. And here we can see all of the plotted listings on the graph, and the price and the median is marked. And now we can take a look at up here you can see the N1861, that's how many listings are pulled, and as well as the average price here. Average beds, baths, square foot, and so on. And then we can take a look over here. We can see the, it's the wrong file. This right here. All right, so here's the output JSON file where we have all the listings, all here. And then down here we can see all of the data that was output from the program. We've got the average price listing, the total number of listings, and all the other information, as well as the number of listings from the agency with the most listings, HomeSmart in this case. And that is the data that's used to generate the graph. And that's the end of the program execution.